always with the hope that the federal impact aid dollars will be there, but we will also share with you, and not in great detail, we'll just call it, for us, we call it the 90% rule. That means that all of our personnel costs will never be more than 90%. Now, that's going to be difficult, but that's the goal. And that'll never be more than 90% of local revenue. Okay, so our local taxes and any minimal state aid that we receive, which means that the federal impact aid is then available for major projects. Can even pay down a bond. Does that kind of make sense, folks? Because most school districts now are fighting to keep their total personnel costs even at 95 to 97%. So if we have 10% of our local revenue as discretionary funds, that's a really, really healthy position. When we put in the federal impact aid, we're actually about 77% with 33% discretionary. Again, almost unheard of. So we have a wonderful gift.
John, that project list, can you get back to it for a minute?
Can.
Is that prioritized?
No.
It's not.
All five are prioritized equally.
Okay.
They're all. We see them all as needs.
Bus garage.
Well, in that regard, so if we could only do one, absolutely it would be but the bus garage, hands down.
That was my question.
My apologies. I didn't answer that very well. Thank you for catching me on it. Perfect. All right. And then I just wanted to give you a sense of things here. So the bus garage, we're looking actually putting up in here. That was Rick Shaneholtz's idea. Love it. Whether we, at first blush, we'd like to keep the present building, retro it into district storage, but we sure don't want it to be anything that's an eyesore, right? So making this look sharp, some landscaping around it. Obviously, and here's the walkway where the covered walkway will go from the main parking lot. Down here, this property off of Burdickville is where the tennis complex is being considered. Right here, coming off of right center field, off of the baseball diamond, and down the right field line of the softball field is where the Laker team room for soccer and softball will go. Here's the soccer field. Here's the main softball field. This is a practice softball field. So with that, anybody have a pressing question or concern about our budget? Then let me just move to this. First of all, Kalina, I didn't introduce you. I'm so sorry. Kalina is the marketing guru for Chrisman Company. I'm sorry, Kalina. I so apologize for that. Just you'll fall in love with her. She'll be a best friend. She's from Manistee originally, and just loves this whole area. I just want you to know that we've done what we needed to do, and we sent that out to you in a letter regarding the fact that we have a stable budget that is being built and managed under proper budgeting principles. And our goal will be that our students and our staff, our community, will always be in a position to know that what is needed will always be taken care of, and that where we have wants, we might even be able to keep addressing those as well. So with that, let's move on. I think that was it. Bethany, yes? Okay, great. Now we're going to turn time over to Jason, and we're just going to have a lot of fun tonight, folks. Our hope is that you'll either come back on the 25th or invite others to come and be a part of this, and just keep growing the process of learning and finding out what is going to be best for our Lakers. Not just for the present, but for literally generations to come. Jace?
Thanks. I think this is good for the stream, but it's just my voice here, right? So do you want me to use the mic? Would that? No? Good? I can talk pretty well out there. Well, welcome everybody. I'm Jason Homa. I'll introduce myself to you guys, tell a little bit of a story here to get started. So bear with me. Jason Homa, I graduated from Glen Lake High School in 1992. It's a really long time ago now. It was before we had, the wing and the auditoria and all that stuff. We used to eat lunch over here in the old gym. And the new gym, which is old, was the new gym, which is what I still call it, the new gym. After that, I moved away for a while. Fortunately, or however you want to look at this, in 2002, my wife and I, Heather, decided to move back to this area. We moved back from Washington, D.C. because in 2001, Washington, D.C. became a really tough place to live, and we wanted to be somewhere, first and foremost, where community meant something to us, all right? Where we could pass people in the street, know who they were. We wanted some comfort. And I can tell you that it's like super exciting to be here with this group of people because you guys are the community, and I know like 90% of the faces in this room. It's awesome. I mean, that's what I came here for, you know? It's pretty neat to know you're on the right path, right? So in July, you know, the school had a couple of issues, and you know, for me at that time, I thought, well, you know, this is maybe it's a good time to try and throw my skills into the ring because I have a couple of skills that hopefully will help some people here. You know, I had a couple of goals when I came in to this position. Fortunately, appointed, you know, through the process. But I had a couple of hopes or dreams, you know, personally. It's like, okay, I know this is going to be tough, but man, I would really like to get something out of this too, personally. And so a couple things I wanted to do. One, I wanted to help just kind of like right the ship. I kind of like crisis and being in the mix of things. So like, if I could just get us through the real heavy stuff, man, that'd be great. You know, be a fun, energizing thing for me to do. And man, whew, I got it, okay? I got that experience. And it's been, I have to tell you, my experience on the school board starting in July, it's been nothing but fantastic. Every experience I've had has been wonderful. The school is in a great place. And I'm so lucky, yeah, right? Right? So right the ship. I got that, got there, we got the ship up. I've met some wonderful people. People have come on. It's been really fantastic. As a school board, as a group of people that I've met, we've taken on some things that I was like, what are we doing this for? But they've been tremendous, listening, learning from my friends on here. A hope for me was like, well, you know, maybe if I'm on the school board long enough, I'll be able to like kind of help us work on getting like some transparency and work on how the board communicates with the staff and gets like some ideas of how we start to set a process forward in terms of looking ahead and communicating what our goals are. In October, we set some goals and we started working on a process for us that's helped us set some goals and put some things out there, name some core values in a way that I never thought would be possible so early in my time here. It's fantastic. I'm really pumped up about that. Lastly, I had a dream, and I'm not making it, I mean, this is real. I had a dream that maybe at some point I could be working with this, with the board, with the school, and talking about visioning and where we want to go. Who is Glen Lake? What is Glen Lake? What does it mean to be a Glen Lake Laker? And what do we have here? What's our meanings of pride? What's our vision for what we're trying to do here? You know, I thought, well, man, if I could just be in that conversation in the time I'm on the board, that would be awesome. Here we are. Oh, I'm going to have to think up new stuff pretty fast, but this is pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. And I really want to thank you for coming tonight. You know, for just giving some time, sitting at a table, maybe with someone you don't know, you know, having a chance to reach out, do a little community work. It's awesome. It's awesome. Thanks. So, we're going to have some fun. Now, I know I have a few things in here. I know I have a different group of people. I have people who like to talk. I have people who like to be quiet. I have people who like to think outside their head, and I have people who like to think inside their head. I have loudmouths, I have peacocks, and I have quiet people in the room. I know that, okay? But what happened tonight is you came here because you wanted to give some input, all right? And every single one of you, depending on your style, is going to give some input tonight. It's just not necessarily going to be standing up and talking out loud. We're going to do some little group work, so you're going to have to meet some people at your table. And we're going to do some self-reflection stuff. But I promise you, everyone here, his idea, what's important to them is going to get captured. We're going to put it together, and it's going to be part of the process that we're doing. I promise you that. Okay? Sound good? Great. All right. One last thing. I had surgery last Tuesday. I have a hole in my leg. I'm doing the best I can. If I fall over, call 911. Don't pick me up. All right. So, but I'm doing okay. I'm doing really okay. All right. Let's see if I can figure this thing out. Purpose. All right, we have an opportunity for everyone to be part of a discussion on how to best improve and grow our school district's facilities. That's the purpose. We have, John said it very well. Our facilities themselves, when you think about our current facilities, they need some help. How do we address this over time? We also have opportunities, right? We also have lots of opportunities here. And that's something we just want to explore. What's important to us? What's important to us as a community? What do we want to have? Because we have an opportunity. All right? So what we're going to try and do out of this, we're going to do some brainstorming. We're going to collect some ideas, right? Everyone has input as I went through. We're going to have vision and recognition of the most important things for our district growth. That's what I want to find out. I want to find out what the core stuff is, the stuff that really makes a difference for us, okay? I don't want to talk about how much it's going to cost to put new curbs in. That's just not important to me. That's not what we're doing. Those issues come up. We deal with them. We'll have a little moment to capture that stuff. But I want to talk about the real big things, the things that make us Lakers, all right? Identify growth prospects and related key issues. So, here we have some ideas. I want to find out what people have in their mind, just sort of stuff that'd be cool, and then also we're going to have a chance where if you have an issue where you have something like, oh man, I know this guy's up here talking about all that we can do, but man, this one thing stuck in my head, why'd we do this? We're going to capture those key issues. We're going to collect those because I don't want to miss the fact that there might be some things that are painful to us that we really need to address from the community's perspective. Sound good? If we do that, we're getting there, right? We're starting to get there? All right, awesome. Here we go. Let's see if I have this in order. Okay, here's our agenda. I've got about 80 minutes of work up here. Okay, we're gonna try and get there. We're gonna get out. I promise you it's gonna work about that much time. I have a little bit of time built in case one area goes a little bit slower. This is the perfect size group, by the way. I'm so happy to have this group of people in here. Awesome, okay? So we're gonna do a process of me explaining. I'm in the middle of that. We're going to do a little workshop time and some group stuff on what we've done well. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about what are things that I remember happening here, or what's stuff that's happened at Glen Lake that we've done well. I think we should capture that. Those are the things that we build on in some ways. Those are successes we can't forget. And even in there, we can talk a little bit about things that hey, maybe we didn't do so hot. Okay. Hey, Bobby. I know. Then we're going to talk about a little bit on something called the 10X mindset. 10X, all right? And I'll get into that. That's going to help us get to this idea of how do we think a little bit bigger outside the box. So we'll go into that. That's a process piece that I'm going to carry. And then we're going to do a little bit of specific areas of advance. You guys are going to write down some of the things that you're really passionate about that you'd love to see. Then we're going to come together in your little group pods that you're at, and your pod is your table that you're sitting at. And if you're not at the table, I'm going to ask you to go to a table, find a chair, and we can pull more chairs up. You don't have to do it, but it's kind of why we're here. And then we're going to do a little idea consolidation report out on your own ideas. We're going to kind of test them within our table. We'll get a chance to give some immediate feedback to each other so that we all have an idea. Am I just out here on the moon, or am I in a hot spot with people are thinking this is pretty good. So you guys are going to get some feedback on your own ideas because that's important tonight. That not only did you come with ideas, but you're also able to just test them a little bit, see what other people have to say. That's what this community thing's all about. Got it? Great. All right, here we go. So everyone has a sheet of paper in front of them, and it says something like, let's see here. Yeah. So this is our first group. This is our first group thing. It's on the sheet that's stapled together. The sheet that's stapled together, the top page. There's a sheet, and it talks about, and this is a moment I want you guys to take. We're going to take, what would I say here, maybe 20 minutes tops. I want you guys to really just think about things that have happened or big wins at the school that we've done, all right? Things that have happened in the school that we've done that you're proud of, that we should feel successes in. And you go ahead and fill that out as a group. Go ahead and work on it together. I'll walk around. Again, you just want to think about the things that are great about Glen Lake schools, facilities, things that you just think have been really big wins for us in the past. In the past. Okay? I have some cheat sheets. If anyone wants a cheat sheet. Does anyone need a cheat sheet of the facilities we have? Just to remind you guys. You look like a visual guy, Trav. There we go. I don't want anyone who's not ready to go. Here's a cheat sheet to remind you where we're at. This is just to remind you who we are right now.
This is so beautiful. Caution tape on the floor where they used to.
They want that. That's what they want. It was just to get something in place immediately. Band-aid fix.
I did not. It sounded really good.
That's awesome. Yeah, it was successful. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
That being said,
Make a note of what you just if you're gonna. If you write something down, folks, that you're not sure, like if something comes up, like let's say something comes up that you're not really sure about, right? Like it was a big deal. I'm not sure if I feel that it's that great, or maybe I was like, maybe I didn't actually like it. Just make a note where that falls. It's okay to put that stuff down. Clear the mind out.
pickleball. Yes. You were hot stuff on you. So, okay. Yeah, that goes with you.
I think she brought you up.
Right, so we'll start with
So we want comedian.
what he is the vision.
Looks like there's a cookie there
I love it. I worked in a part just finding things for
I like what you said.
schools.
When I was growing up,
Which is good globally, but not so good. My dad was in
Something to identify.
in 1959.
So you're traveling. Yeah. So I'm So that's, and the other thing is, there's a sleep stretching ice. Yeah, so the idea was across the
I think a safe and service providing area for buses.
And you have the high school students driving around in here too, who are not adept at remembering what they come to do.
And it was sitting down. No office jobs. The school's like that.
Different than when going wifi.
We got some rooms that are pretty. If it looks like a, like a 1940s bomb shelter, that's what it is.
That's why you turned up.
my parents have
Although I grew up in an area much like this, and
You're right, and that's another point.
where I went to good schools, they no good.
So the last question, I know a lot of people are on the last question, right? How do we answer the last question? So what I'm interested in, through this process, what I think is most important is that when we name the things that we've done, that we've experienced through the years here at the school, and man, I'm hoping that there's some other stuff in here. It's not just about facilities, it's about how we did this with kids, or anything really can go on these sheets. But when the last question says very much, what would we like to continue from this learning? If you look at the sheet of paper and you say to yourself, man, if I could extract a couple things, if I could boil it down and just take the essence of a couple of the things that happened there, and I could turn it into just a word or two, this is the essence of what that is. These are the values that maybe we will want to continue. That's what I'm looking for. It's a little bit different, a little more abstract question, but if you can add something like that down there, it's great. Now, if you put in a whole bunch of other stuff, that's wonderful too. We'll work with that. But, I'm really wondering from the list of things that you've done, because there's some really nice lists going on, whether or not we can boil out a little bit and say, man, this is a little bit about who we are right here.
Okay, because we've done that. These are wins that we've had. That answer a question? That help? Great.
We don't need too much. That says a lot about me. We all have.
Why don't we take 2 more minutes? 2 more minutes to wrap this up. That'd be great. 2 more minutes. Last ideas down on paper.
Now we go across.
I'm like this.
All right, let's kind of wind this piece up. I'll know you're ready when you're carrying me like something else, like Steve is, like something else could happen.
So we're about
So I'd like if I could have, 1, 2, maybe 3. Might just want to share what a win or 2 might have been, or one of those big important things, just so that we hear a little bit. Can I get one of the peacock loudmouths in the room to give a chance just to kind of say something about what might share a little bit? Do I have any volunteers? I'm not going to. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Never been shot.
All right.
For the 2 or 3 people who may not know me, I'm Mary Kristen. I did the math. I've been a part of the Glen Lake schools for 54 years. I was here, I closed the Empire School, I closed the Maple City School, and we put that down as a breakthrough. Is when we took the community schools and consolidated them up here. And that was kind of tough at first, because the communities didn't want to give up their local school. Kind of what's happening in Traverse City right now with their Montessori school. They want to stay in the neighborhood, but they want to build a world-class facility. So they're struggling with that. And that's kind of something very similar that we went through. We came up here, and gradually, like Topsy, it grew and grew and grew until we're here today. But it didn't happen overnight. It took a long time. I may be the only person in the room who remembers the mobile classrooms out here.
I remember those.
Okay. And they were great at first. I mean, when you came from a school like the Empire School and it snowed in the walls and the furnace blew up on a regular basis and the fire marshal kept saying you need one more violation to close the school, the temporaries were great, but they weren't temporary. And it got to the point where I was telling you, Bob, you might remember, every kid had a can. And when it rained, they went to their recorded stations and it rained through the roof. And it was kind of a great thing when we finally all got under a solid roof here in the building. My own personal remembrance of the mobile classrooms was during tornado drills, we went over the hill out here. That was our safe place. If we couldn't get in the building here in the hallways, that was our backup. So that was one of ours.
But the word that we came to bring out of that was community.
Right.
That was so a value and core that we brought out of that was the communities too, as far as
They grew here in
Yeah.
place.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Bob. do I have another volunteer? Do I have to have one? Just wondering if I have another volunteer who wants to talk. All right, I'll demand more next time around. Thank you. That's awesome. Thank you very much. That's exactly what we're looking for. Okay? All right. So, I'm going to introduce you guys to something called the 10X Mind Expander. All right? Sounds kind of whatever. I did not come up with this, but it's a pretty cool concept. You know, what we just did is we talked about what got us here, you know, what our past looked like, but what we're twice, but we want to get 10 times better at something. Okay, I've got a little video to introduce you guys to the concept. Hopefully this plays. We're going to have to watch too many advertisements as we start. But who knows, maybe, let's see what we've got. Uh-oh, oh no. We'll see.
Did you draw it, Jason?
I did. I'm happy to know. I think this thinking,
your innovation, your decision-making, your communication, and your action, the moment that you fix your brain on a... I'd like to discuss an idea that really gets people's attention when I say it, and this is the idea that as an entrepreneur, it's a lot easier to grow 10 times than it is to go for 2 times progress and growth. Now, when I say this, I can see people's heads shake, wondering how this could possibly be true, and I say it has to do with what immediately happens to your thinking, your innovation, your decision-making, your communication, and your action the moment that you fix your brain on a 10 times goal. The moment someone seriously commits themselves to the idea of 10 times, they visualize where they want to be, and intellectually they engage with a future 10 times result. So they've locked it into their brain, but not only that, they've emotionally committed themselves to actually taking the actions and making the decisions and communicating in a way that would actually achieve the 10 times result. So 2 things. There's an intellectual engagement, and then there's an emotional commitment. Now, before you had the 10 times goal, your mind was on everything. But once you make the 10 times commitment and you see a clear result out in the future that's bigger and better, your brain becomes like a filter, a 10 times filter, and it looks at everything you're doing right now, all the activities, and it begins to say, this belongs to 10 times, so you keep it. And that doesn't belong to 10 times, so you're either going to have to stop doing it, you're going to have to eliminate it, or you're going to have to give it to somebody else. You delegate it or you outsource it, but you're not going to do it anymore. So once you filter your activities using 10 times, then you can focus on the marketplace and selling in a very specific way. You used to look at the whole marketplace, but now you're just looking at a niche part, a 10 times niche part of the marketplace. You used to sell a number of products and services, but now you're just going to sell something very specific. And the criteria that you're using to make all these decisions is, will it help take us to 10 times, or will it prevent us from going to 10 times? So this whole mindset, what I call the 10 times mindset, creates a totally different way of operating in the world. If you have a 10 times mindset, what happens is that you become connected to all the other capabilities in the world that can multiply you. And you enhance your ability to connect with people who have really great skills, and they support you and they push you towards 10 times. Now, they won't do it if you're going for 2 times. The most successful and ambitious multipliers in the world are interested in 10 times not 2 times. Just relate that to the digital world where everything is either on or off. It's either 1 or it's 0. And so in the 21st century, this is what I always say to entrepreneurs, it's always easier to grow 10 times than it is to go for 2 times.
It's a pretty cool concept. Strategic coach. Tonight I was going to have Todd Shoek, one of the owners of Czech Republic, with me. He is actually in the strategic coach program. He's there tonight, getting more, learning more about how to, make our business better. So, what is this? How does this relate to what we're doing here tonight? What's the real tangible piece? And there's a part that gets talked about in here, which is the marketplace and where we're going. So, as a school, we have a wonderful school district, great community. We have a great financial base for us to grow and be prosperous for a very long time. Okay? We have those assets available to us, right? One of the challenges, just one of the challenges we have, we're not going to get into this, is enrollment, right? We want kids to be here, all right? There's no point in having a school without kids. We want the school to be full. We want it to be filled right up to the brim. And one of the things that was talked about in here was, what's our niche? What makes us special? Why would a family choose to come to Glen Lake community? Why would they join the Glen Lake community? Why would they bring their kid to our school? What is it that we tell these people that say, we do this, we're the best at it, we're really great, come and join us? It's here, it's in the room, we have it, we just need to identify it so that we can put it out there, right? And we also can use this work, this community forum, and the information we gain to help us steer a narrower path to make sure that all of our decisions are kind of based around this path that'll allow us to find that niche and be super competitive so that we have a school that prospers for a very long time. You guys follow me? All right, cool. So the 10X idea. And this is one of those things, like, I know we've tried to incorporate into Czech Republic. Obviously, we sell one thing, right? We sell cherries. That's our niche. It's important that we do that, okay? And that's one of the concepts that we use. Now, so to put this more into like application, though, I want to go through a couple subtleties because it's kind of a cool little video to watch. But what is it? How does that translate? What are we trying to do here? So first things first, I want to talk about what growing 2 times does. Okay, so let's say I ask this group, hey, we want to get 2 times better. All right, let's get 2 times better, whatever it is. We want to win twice as many championships next year. All right. So when we say that, because the X can represent anything, right? I tell you what, we just want to grow band. We want to grow the band program. We want twice as many kids in it. That's our big goal. We want twice as many kids. Fantastic. That's a great idea, right? Awesome. We can all get pumped up about that. The problem is, with thinking about things only in a 2 times scenario, is that in order to do that, we have to combine 2 things together. We combine where we're at today, all right, so we have this many kids in band, and we have to think about, well, how do we do that? We know it too well. We just know all of our challenges. We know all the things. We know all the kids. We can count the kids that are right there. We can count the kids that didn't join band last year. We can count the tubas that we have. We know all the challenges. So what we do is we blend the present with the past, okay, to make our decisions. And what that does is it brings all of the problems along with it. So it's like, oh, I can grow 2 times, but in order for me to do that, we have to address this, 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 and this, and all these issues have to come along with it. Those issues are pretty much, we can call it this right here, stuff, okay? So we can get there, but man, it's gonna hurt. Just the idea of growing something twice is kind of like, oh man, like, that's heavy. Because I've got all the problems, right? I've got all the challenges along with me. The energy level, when you start to think about 2 things, or 2 times something, it's a decrease. We have all that stuff hanging on our back. Stuff in and of itself, you think about your stuff at home, when I say it, it's like, it's not fun. It's your stuff. Okay? That's not what we're going for. All right? So, when we start to talk about things in a 10 times scenario, we have to blend 2 different things. All right? In this case, we blend the future and the present. Okay, so we have today, and we're trying to shoot way out ahead of us. It's a totally different mindset. It's a different way of thinking about things. We can't bring along all the crap with us because it's like, we got a long ways to go. I'm not carrying all this stuff. Okay? So we really have to put ourselves out there. So what the practices that we're going to do, that I'm going to ask you guys to do, it's going to take a little bit. All right? It's going to take a little imagination. I'm going to ask you guys to jump ahead into the future. All right? It's a beautiful day in 2030. We're all there. All right? We're all there in 2030. No one's gone. All right? I got a couple of looks right off the bat. We're all there. It's 2030. And we're looking back at 2020, right? And we're like, man, man, we want it to be 10 times better. We are 10 times better. We're 10 times. You know? I'm looking back and I'm looking at the things that we did to get us there, right? I'm looking back and I'm thinking, wow, remember when we did this, we did that, and we got us to 10 times better. Now, 10 times better what? I haven't said anything, right? 10 times better can mean a whole bunch of things, and these are the things that I'm interested in, right? You know, 10 times better in our operations. 10 times better in our health. Right? The health of our kids, the health of our community, we're 10 times better, right? Our citizenship, man, we've like just improved who we are as citizens, and our kids are just so much better citizens, 10 times better. Whatever that means, right? Community service, athletics, events, arts, other, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You pick the things that are really important that you think that this community is going to provide. Right? And you look back, and one of the things about 10 times, it's 10 times easier too. Okay? Things are 10 times easier than what they are today. So, you've got a sheet in front of you, and I'd just like you to really just kind of put yourself out and just think about, man, 2030, we've done something really cool. All right? It's just so much better. And I just want you to write down what that looks like. Just paint the picture. So it says, I think, you know, the sheet itself, I'm sorry, I got it right in front of me.
You want it right here?
All right. Individually describe in 2 or 3 paragraphs, or however you like to write, whatever, what Glen Lake community skills will look like in terms of our facilities in 2030. But I already said, I'm more interested in all this, all right? I'm interested in everything up there. So facility is just a word, but think about these as what it is that we're really going for. Here's the one rule. You have to write the narrative in a past tense. So it's like, I'm in 2030. Present tense, but I'm thinking present tense. She and I got an argument about this earlier. You're looking back, and so you're writing about the things that have happened. Okay, so these are the things that have happened. That's the rule. All right? So, for example, we have a world-class track where 30 community members a day use it. There's a studio for community theater that is used for monthly productions. That was like 10 times better than what we are right now. Okay? So, go there, think about today, think about the future. Just take a couple minutes, write down what you'd just love to see. Okay? I'm going to give you guys, think like 10 minutes on this. 10 to 15 minutes. This individual, because as a team, we'll kind of do some more gathering. Put the little G's up there to help you guys out too. That's up on the board if you're looking for some idea structures. I want to take about 2 minutes more, 5 minutes more. It's looking to me like people are pretty well, like we're getting there. So does anyone need more time? No? All right, fantastic. So the next thing we're going to do is you're going to go back to the middle page, your 2-page booklet there, and you've got sheet 2, all right? And the sheet 2 is a group work. So what we're going to do is that just like you guys will look through here, and what we're going to do is at your table, everyone's going to contribute. We're going to try and get a couple of, you guys are going to take a little risk here, right? You get to share an idea that you think, you know, like, I'm pretty pumped up about this. I've just kind of thought about this, and I want to share it with you guys. So share away. We're looking for like the top 1 to 3, like as a group. You guys are like, oh yeah, that was really cool. I like that idea. And then if you guys can, we're even going to say, hey, as a group, we all really like this one. You know, just a little bit, like this one kind of rose to the top. I have to tell you, so what's going to happen is all of these sheets are going to be collected. All right, none of this is going to go away. All right, so if you wrote something down that you're passionate about, we're going to hear it, okay? You don't have to put your name on the sheet, individual sheet. You can put your name on the individual sheet. I'm comfortable with that, all right? Whatever you want to do is great. So we'll get everyone's idea. But in this particular one, the value of this thing at your table, it's the talk amongst yourselves and the sharing amongst yourselves about the stuff that really resonates with everyone at the table. This is about really that immediate feedback for everyone on, you know, kind of like, man, this really hits home for me. This is kind of a Glen Lake thing. I'm really interested in this. And again, I'm just looking for the best of the bunch. I am, at the end of this, because we have lots of time, I am going to ask at least maybe like someone can throw out an idea, you know, like I'm going to go table by table and say, hey, can you share one of yours so that we all can just hear it? All right, so just be prepared for that. So if you know, start pointing at the person that's going to just yell it out in a few minutes. You have a few minutes. So before that, get your group together, talk about your ideas, what you feel comfortable sharing, and come up with a couple that you're really like, wow, that's really neat. I liked hearing that. No limits, all right? Thanks.
Sorry, I missed my mic on that. Oh, does this pick
mean that any ideas aren't going to make it, but I'm really looking for you guys to do a little bit of reflection with the team there and say, man, I really like this idea. I think that would be really nice. So how do you guys want to vote on that? It's really good. It's going to help us boil up some of the stuff that we really thought was really neat within the community as small groups, right? So this feedback for us help us say, wow, this group of 4 or 5 people really were keen on this particular thought. So that's going to help us do that. Again, I'm not eliminating anything, but the more we can get to that one idea, or the top 3 or 4, it's really going to help us sort, okay? And just help us work with the data that we pull out here, because there's a lot of data here. I am so awesomely blown away by how much you guys have written on this sheet of paper individually. That is super cool, because when you put something together and no one's ever done it before, you don't know what's going to happen. So there's a lot here. Thank you for that, and it's really exciting for me and for Todd too. He'll be really pumped up. You know, Corey's going to read it all tonight and show it all off in bridge form. So please, take a minute when you guys get through with the group and try and come up, just talk about the cool thing you heard, okay? Maybe the 1 to 2 to 3 ideas.
You don't have your name on it.
But I'm going to go with it. All the pens are down. So that we've done what I asked you hope you guys do. So, all right. So here's what we're going to do. It's 7:27. For the next 10 minutes, really quick. I'm going to ask that every table just tells one story, just tells one thing, all right? Because I think tonight, when we get a group of people like this together, we really just want to hear from each other, right? We want to hear. So this is our opportunity to kind of just hear the great dream, the 2030 look back at what we've done from tonight, and really celebrate that. We put our minds to it, we commit to these ideas, and then we get there. So I'm really excited. I know I'm super excited to hear some of these. I know you guys are too. So we'll see if it's exciting or not. But I need a volunteer to start. Keep in mind, here's the way this works. So this is maybe more exciting than anything else. The table that goes first means they go, and then the table to their left has to go next. So if you really don't like the people next to you at the other table, you raise your hand first. You have to put that down. I'm not talking about that. You do that, then you really get the other table in the hot seat. All right? Like those people are sweating immediately. So I just need that first volunteer. Amy. Actually, Amy's in the middle. Of course it would be Amy who's in the middle. So she gets to decide which table goes next. You got to decide right now.
Go after us.
All right. So now they're sweating and they're not listening, but everyone else is going to listen to Amy. We're going to hear this great 10x idea.
Okay. Because what is so exciting about this is imagining conversations that over the years, 10 years ago, talking about a community garden, talking about a community kitchen, talking about, of course, we came out with a multi-purpose school community facility. But it's going to have all the wellness aspects of things where classes, things that we go to Traverse City for, that if we had it here, how wonderful would that be? Swimming pool, why not? Sure. Because then we can keep ourselves fit in the winter, because we're not moving to Florida. We're going to stay here. And cross-country ski areas, some sort of mental health component to it, place for people to congregate. because it's where we are.
All right.
It's, yeah, thank you.
All right, excellent. Thank you very much, table one. Jim, are you the peacock
Yes,
at the
it's
table?
me, I got voted
Okay.
in, so, thanks Amy for picking it up. So we talked about finding ways for people to get in and out of the campus facility without being in their parents' car or in a car at all. So improving our transportation options, definitely connecting better into the beta system that is actually here but nobody knows it. So approaching beta and saying we want to be a welcoming place for people to catch the bus that takes you around the community. So that would be one thing, and another is facilitating better sidewalks. So if you did live in Maple City or Burdickville, you could actually get safely to or from the school without being on the school bus or in a car. And also facilitating connections to trails, ideally into the Glen Lakes, which we happen to have an incredible trail system, but it needs to be really well integrated into this campus for the community and for the students. So just different ways for this community school to feel connected without everybody having to drive here in their own car, which is kind of not real community.
That's awesome.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Your left is over here, right?
Oh, left, I guess. Yeah.
Yes.
Left. Sorry.
Okay, we would be enjoying the indoor-outdoor swimming pool that is for the swim teams as well as the community and everybody in the summertime, which is sort of then attached to the movie theater, the first run movies, in the back of which is the commercial kitchen, where people can be making food for the patrons who are coming to the pool and the movie theater.
We're gonna hit these guys back there, or we're gonna sneak out,
So, one of the things that we've talked a lot about at our table was utility infrastructure and, sustainability, environmental responsibility, efficiency, things of that nature. The world is changing around us fast, but one thing that's not changing fast in this area is the ruralness of us to the electric grid. So the concept of renewable energy, electrification of transportation, efficiency of the building systems that we have here, but also probably creating some sort of a microgrid for this campus that is a community resource in an area that is really desolate to the utility grid system.
Awesome.
And life skills courses.
Yeah, let's
Wood shop, welding, that kind of stuff for the people that aren't going to CTC.
All right.
Okay. So we're looking at more of the outside of the buildings, the outside campus, looking at more landscaping around. When you drive up, you're just like, wow, this is really nice before you get even inside the building. Some green spaces maybe where students can hang out outside.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Sure.
Thanks. Thank you.
So our keystone idea was to find a way to integrate the history of the organization of the school system throughout the facility. So to possibly have indoor or have outdoor signage as you're walking along the entryway with captions, with a theme throughout the pictures throughout the facility that reflect our vision, both as it was in the past and what we're hoping to have in the future. It could include different pictures and captions at the different sporting facilities. So key moments on the football field. Was there a marching band? What were some key moments with the marching band? What about the cheer squads? So that different students can picture themselves in that facility so that we can both capture the strength that we have with the athletics, but also allow the students who are not in that mainstream to see themselves there as well. And then also to take it one step further into the natural beauty we have with the forests. So maybe consider an interpretive trail throughout that as well to integrate nature and science and conservation, which is one of our gifts that can bring the community together as well.
Thank you.
shared facilities such as a pool, theater, and the arts. It would also really embrace community engaged learning that would make learning fun and promote continued education, really tapping into the skills and the enormous amount of talent and wealth that this community has to offer. Jason being an example right now, right here tonight. It's so fun to see you sharing your skills. And making sure that our school serves and inspires kids regardless of their social or economic status. So really making sure that we inspire kids to go on with continued education of some form or another, so that it's not just, we're making the learning fun.
We're next. Would you like to share?
Sure. Our top 3 ideas were a swimming pool, and we're going to have a master swim team that I can be on. And we're going to win national championships. But we're also going to have affordable housing, and we're going to bring back SHOP, life skills, community resources, business ed, learn to balance the checkbook.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, when it comes to being almost last, some of our ideas have been repeated. I think our major one was that we wanted an amazing facility where we would have a pool, a new gymnasium, but most of all, a great performing arts center where we could attract members of our community. And I hear, a thread going through the room that's what we want to do. We want to integrate our community with our school. And this would be a beautiful way to do it.
It is. It's a thread. It's a common theme. I'm just going to be echoing a lot of what's been said already. But ours, we had all these ideas, and basically it came to light that it could all be summed up with a community center that connects our greater community with our students to provide opportunities for everybody involved. World-class events and theater, concerts, speakers, that sort of thing. Continuing education for real-world experience in culinary, business, agriculture. There's just endless opportunities, sciences, and then also provide a center for community recreation. Yes. With a pool.
Oh, Jenna, this is your shining moment.
I'm not necessarily even going to talk about the pool, though I did in my little sheet. I tried to merge our 3 kinds of thoughts into this statement, which is a little rough, but the Glen Lake campus has become a hub for the community. First, for learning of our students through world-class project-based entrepreneurial STEM education, where all of our faculty are working to mentor curiosity in the classroom throughout K-12. It is a place where there is mentoring, fitness, events in the arts, all in a facility that is energy efficient and sustainable.
Oh, wow.
Get you guys big, or no?
Yeah, we are guys.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I think we started with a concept that kind of will dovetail into, I guess, facilities, but it's really around supporting continued promotion of kind of passions outside of the kind of core curriculum, for lack of a better term, and things that students may or may not know they're passionate about while they're in high school, middle school, and elementary. So some ideas we kicked around would be like, additional use of the land around us, the woods, whether it's teaching survival skills, training, hiking, the great outdoors. This is kind of where we live. Kind of taking a different direction, promoting entrepreneurship and technology. You know, in 2030, I think it's going to be a different world, and we're kind of heading there. So let's kind of make sure we're keeping up. So laboratories, you know, new equipment, could be teaching renewable energy, just kind of wrapping that all up and kind of, you know, where we are.
Oh, you guys! Wow, what a vision!
A pool.
Jason, I think Gina talked to the right
You know, the thread, you know, the purpose here again. What's our core? What makes us Glen Lake? What makes us this district? What is the unique aspect? What's our niche? You know, what I heard a lot of talk about wellness. Wellness at the core. You're part of this district, and we're going to ensure that you're well. You know, really, really, that was through this in and out, and innovative. All right, we can be innovative here. We have the opportunity to do that, and that was a shared thing. That's what I heard. And you guys, I'm sure you heard your own pieces to that. But those are things that, man, if I wanted to be in a community, and if I wanted my kids, if I knew that wellness was an opportunity here in innovation, coming in a rural district like this, oh my gosh, how could you not have it better? And I think we all live that, which is kind of cool too, right? It's all part of who we are as people in this community. So it's really a reflection of us. That's what we should be shooting for. It's awesome, awesome, awesome stuff. So thank you for these pieces. I'm going to go into like kind of next steps here and ask you for one or two little feedback things. But once again, thank you for participating with each other in getting this going tonight, all right? You guys are doing that heavy lifting. It's really appreciated for us. All right, so a couple of things we're going to do here. From here, we're going to consolidate the concepts from this meeting, all right? So we're going to take the papers, all right? If you feel like for some reason you want to take the paper with you, fine, do what you got to do. But, you know, please leave the group ones at a minimum, but we would like to take that, and we're going to consolidate the concepts out of here. We're going to boil them down, and we're going to get this back in a format that reads in a way that people can see the results of the cook-up here, okay? In 2 weeks, there's another forum that's going to be very much like this. I'll get to that in a couple of minutes, all right? A couple of things that we have as steps as a board, administration, and a partner that we have to help us get the job done, the Christmas Corporation. You know, we're going to be looking at different alternative forums. How do we make sure that we hear everybody? We just have to really think about that. This forum tonight is our first step. We wanted to see how it turned out. This is awesome. It's perfect. I think this is like perfect. There's no seats. There's no one sitting in the other room. It's like perfect. So can we do it again? Do we need to do some alternative forums? Whether or not we survey, I don't know. But the idea is we're going to see how this goes over the next little bit. So then after this, we're going to, you know, figure out the primary needs, primary issues. You know, so what are the needs? What are the issues that go along with it? Kind of help get there. And what we would do is we would end up with an initial concept. And the concept is, I use that word, I want to be very careful. The concept is broad, right? So in the concept, we have the bus garage, all right? In the concept, we have the tennis courts thing. But in the concept, we also have this idea that I've heard a number of times tonight, that if this continues to you know, take place, we may be concepting a building or something like this, all right? So I just want to make sure we're going to find through there. And then, you know, we're going to come back and we're going to present that concept so that people have a chance to take a look at it. And then we're going to see how we're going to get it done. You know, I don't have the answers. I don't even know the questions yet to know answers. So that's how we're going to get through this, okay? That's our future here. And we want to do this as a board, as a group. We want to move quickly. That's, for us, because of what John laid out financially for us, we have some responsibility to start really thinking about how we work here and how we work through our financial, the wonderful position where you're in, but the responsibility we have to do it right. So we don't want to waste a period of time or a year of not knowing what we're going to do. We want to move forward. We want to move forward diligently and on the right track. Follow that? So that's what we're going to be doing next.
I really appreciate it. I'm only going to ask you, and this is now we're at the end of the night, but I'm going to ask you, for those that are interested, please, I have issues and opportunity lists. This is stuff that like, hey, you know, you guys are here, it's an opportunity. So if you had something that you're like, hey, I'm like, this has been bugging me, I just want to write this down, go ahead, take one of the little sticky notes, take a little note, you don't need to put your name on it, and you stick it to the issues list. So if there's anything we didn't answer, or there's something you're like, man, I really hate that one curb out there, can we get rid of that curb? Like, let's stick that up there, okay, just so that we know. Because you guys may have like these little irritants that bother you, like the blower in the bathroom, I don't know, whatever. Put it up there, okay, because that's the stuff that helps us like clean stuff up, because we want to feel like, right, we have stuff that we should take care of, right? Do that right? The next thing over here, you see a plus and a delta. The plus are the things, again, on the little sticky note, and this just helps me, okay? The plus would be things about tonight that worked well, that you liked about this forum, all right? Because I'm going to do it again in 2 weeks, and I want it to be better than tonight, all right? So anything that worked well, you put over here, and then the delta, which is a little bit bigger, space, same thing, a sticky note that you're like, hey, you know what, this didn't really work for me, I wish it was a little different, or maybe we could change. Okay, I'm not going to say it was bad, because I don't want to hear about it. it's just the stuff that you might change, okay? So, and that's all I'm going to ask you. You just walk up, stick that stuff, and you guys are ready to go. I thank you so much. The board thanks you, John thanks you, the staff thanks you for coming in this community, man. I love it. I'm really blessed here. Okay, thank you. Good night.